Oklahoma escaping a teal splash. And all that's coming up after the bumper. What's up, kid folk? It's RJ Young. I am not on the step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, we got to talk about Oklahoma narrowly escaping the Tulane Green Wave at home.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You got to help me with that corner shit.
So today we got to talk about Oklahoma narrowly getting a win 40-35 against Tulane in a de facto home game. All right, let's start with positives. Positives here is Tulane, who showed up totally displaced and out of sorts. They were expecting to play this game in New Orleans. Hurricane Ida came through and made that impossible. They got on a plane to practice, to do install on a Wednesday in Birmingham, Alabama. And then they flew to Norman where, they were handing out a few tickets for folks to buy for Tulane. And they put the little teal splash mascot on the field. But this is a home game as far as we are concerned. And we all know that. Showed up in these real sexy blues and went straight to work. All right? First, second play of the game, you pick off Spencer Rattler, which means that 2 of the top 4 starting quarterbacks in the country have thrown interceptions in the first half of football, C.J. Stroud being the other. We'll see what DJ Uiagalelei and Bryce Young do later on today. Then you march straight down to the field. Not march. They walked down an Oklahoma defense that was top 25 last year and is expected to be this year. And about 4 minutes and 44 seconds left in the first quarter, they lead 14-7. Then Oklahoma does what we expect an Oklahoma team to do. They get turnovers. They get takeaways, okay? They put up 27. They're leading 34-14. And in the second half, Tulane said, no, we're here. We're going to play a little football. We're going to make this a ball game. And they proceed to do just that. So, with minutes left to play, it is 40-35. Tulane has the ball. They're looking at 4th and 13. And my goodness, we're talking about a few feet here from being in position to not tie the game, to win the game with a touchdown. Had he not come up short, we're talking about this game totally differently, okay? Alex Grinch has a lot to fix, especially if they plan on winning a national championship, as I have predicted. Start with the pass rush. You got to get home, and you got to get home against Tulane, dog. Because as much noise as is going to be talked about this game, specifically from like Ohio State fans, because like the overlap here is big, and Alex Grinch also was secondary coach at Ohio State when Greg Schiano was still calling the plays, and they weren't very good in secondary. Both Oklahoma and Ohio State gave up 30+ to opponents in their openers. Difference here is Minnesota, especially with Mo Ibrahim, is a very good football team. Like, Mo Ibrahim is healthy for the entire year. You're talking about 8, 9, 10 wins, I think, for that team. And they finished the season ranked, even if they started unranked. Tulane, on the other hand, isn't expected to even compete for the American championship. Especially now, with the Hurricane basically destroying the first quarter of their season. You have to go and beat Tulane by 50. The spread in this game to start was 33 points. Needless to say, the Sharks, the Sharps, and the Degenerates all covered if they took Tulane. Like, you have to fix this. You have to fix this. There is no if, and, or but about it. Like, I know to look at the schedule is also to look at what is not a strong schedule by anybody's measure. Tulane, who is Tulane to you? Western Carolina next week? Okay, cool. If Fordham can put up 50, if Nebraska can put up 50 on Fordham, you should put up 50 on West Carolina. Okay, that's that. Then you get Nebraska, who you also should beat like they stole something. Your opponents are going to be Texas, Kansas State. Kansas State looked real good today. Kansas State was up 24-0 before Stanford decided to score a touchdown, or it was allowed to, depending on how you want to look at it. What I'm saying is conference play this year is going to be a bear for Oklahoma if this is what you put out. And it's not as if they were great running the ball either. The offensive line suspect. There was no Andrew Rame, who was out for reasons that aren't public yet. Still, your problem is you can't run the football with consistency. And while Eric Gray looked like to be the guy, Kennedy Brooks is still a walking first down, right? Like, let's take a look at the stats here, because I think Kennedy Brooks also had the best day of any tailback on the football field. 14 rushes for 87 yards and a touchdown, 6.2 yards per carry. You'll take that. Marvin Mims is still Marvin Mims, right? 6 catches, 137 yards. And Mario Williams, he's going to be a dude, right? Especially with Theo Weiss being out. Jaden Hazelwood had 5 for 57. That's good. But when the opposing quarterback shows up to your house and goes 26 of 43 for 280 with 3 TDs, yeah, man, I don't really care that you sacked him 3 times or that you got 2 takeaways. You know, I care that that dude was eating you up at Tulane. Again, if we're talking about, for the sake of this discussion, LSU being 40-35, we're having a different conversation. But because there are Meek Mill levels to this, we have to talk about this thing like Oklahoma was this close to losing it as opposed to they're 1-0. Well, all we care about is being 1-0. Oklahoma has had the benefit of the doubt every single year that it has been eligible for the college football playoff. You will allow an Oklahoma team to have a loss, right? And make the playoff if they win the Big 12 championship, because that's what they have done. But games like this are why so many people believe that Oklahoma is overrated, especially for me at number 1 and for the AP at number 2. I think we're going to see a lot of moving and shaking between myself and the Associated Press poll when we talk about these things. And be sure to tune in for the live show, or excuse me, for the ranking show on Tuesday, where I'm going to talk about these things in a little bit more depth. But I need to get out here and say, Tulane showed up to my house, put Oklahoma on its back, forcing it to fight from ground, pointed at me like Eric Killmonger and said, "Is this your king? Is this your king?" It's like Bad Boys 2 with Mike Lowry. Yo, man, you embarrassed me in front of my people. Like, come on, man. Help me help you is what I'm saying here. But if this is how you're going to play, well, we're going to play it as it lies. We only have the games, and college football is only a 12-game season, so every game is a sample and a sample size. We got to take what you showed